Okay, we're back. Second session of our maintenance on our lathe. So we'll get the gap, I've cleaned the gap up, and we'll get that sitting back in its place where it goes. So just put a couple of drops of oil. Only doesn't need much. That was probably a couple of drops too much. I don't want a layer of oil under there, I just want it so it's not dry. Just enough to prevent rust. Rub it in. Okay, so we've got no free floating oil on there, it's just a little wee couple of drops rubbed in. So we go our gap. The mounting pads, make sure everything is spotless as can be. Make sure we put it in the right way around. It goes that way. Just very gently falls into place. Just rock it from side to side just to verify that everything feels as it should, and it does. Okay, put our screws in. We're not going to tighten them up at this stage because we'll do the initial alignment of the gap with the carriage. Okay, so we just got a little bit of rock. Okay, once we've got our carriage on, we can put the indicator onto the carriage and indicate this in. Right. With our tape and dowels, so I'll just sit them on there for now. And let's have a look at our carriage. Okay, well the underside of our carriage we've cleaned up. We've put a little bit of marking blue, well it's Sharpie blue on there. My Prussian blue is all dried up and it's knackered, so I just want to have a bit of a look and just see how our contact is going onto the bed. So I'll run this up and down and hopefully it should be a couple of points touching anyway. Okay, let's flip him over and see what's going on. Okay, in the V-ways, it's quite reasonable, getting a lot of broad contact through there. That's a good sign. And the flat way, getting contact on half of it. Of course this centre section is relieved, as is the centre section here is relieved. So on the other end we're getting reasonable contact over half of it, so that's alright. That'll wear in with age. Okay. Well, we'll get the blue stuff cleaned off, we'll get it oiled up and plopped on. Quick wipe down. Bit of oil. I just use hydraulic oil. 46 grade. 32 or 46 for the ways. And generally try and keep with 68 for the headstocks and apron boxes and that. Okay. Boom, on she goes. Beautiful. Just glides effortlessly, that's exactly what we want. Okay, what we'll do next, we'll get the guides in underneath, so we'll get them cleaned up. And then we'll get this gap indicated in, Okay, so this is the rear underside gib for the carriage. So this goes in the clamps underneath the ways on the bed. I just noticed there was a little bit of a funny wear mark on it, just a very slight ridge. So all I've done is just very carefully just draw filed it off. So holding the file just with my fingertips in the middle, that way I don't induce any curve or anything like that in it. So that feels quite good. Just a quick touch up with the stone, just make sure everything looks tickety-boo. And should be good to go. Okay, this is the retainer for the Gib strip for underneath at the rear. So it retains the Gib strip there, so it has a central locating grub screw which stops the Gib from sliding backwards and forwards. Now what I noticed, the adjuster screws have made very fine imprints into the rear of the Gib from the grub screws. I probably won't pick it up, but little circles. There's one there. Okay, just there. So what I've done is just very carefully filed off the tips of the grub screws, so it's not a pointy surface that digs in. It's a flat, smooth surface now. So what that does, if you have a pointy surface on these, with this strip in here, it does want to always move like that. Even though it has this locating screw in the middle, you're still going to get a little bit of play. And what will happen, the Gib will ride up on top of those screws because they're pointy. So filing them flat keeps everything in a flat plane. So Okay, we'll get this mounted up. Okay, so just get a bit of oil. Bit of the slippery stuff happening under here. And get our So once we've got this bolted up, we use these adjusters and we adjust the clearance in it. Just give it a gentle nip up first. Just make sure it still slides, still moves, so we can tension them down now. So I can get my Allen key in the hole. Okay, it's all I need. Everything's still free. That clunking you hear, that's the rear of the carriage lifting. So that's what we want to reduce. So we take that out with the Gib adjusters underneath. We just back off, slacken them all off. Working upside down, I'm going the wrong way. Okay, so I'm going to back the outer ones off half a turn or a turn. Just want them right out the way for now. Okay, the inner two. Just make sure our lock nuts are backed off. Okay, so I'm going to slowly snug down the inner two. Yeah, that's right, drop the Allen key. It's like working in front of a mirror. I'm actually watching the camera. I can see where the screws are. They're nipped up there, so I'll back it off. You don't want them too tight, you know, you want clearance. So that's not too bad, that one. Yeah, this one. Just getting tight there. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'll nip those adjusters up, with the lock nuts up, so we hold the Allen key into the adjuster screw so it doesn't move. And do the locking nut up. Feels good. And then you just feel the very slightest drag that's put on that. It's okay. We'll swing it around. We'll get the front ones in. When you one thing before we do with these strips, it does. If you're running, say, tools upside down in your lathe and that sort of thing, especially if you have like a rear mounted tool or something like that in the rear, this really comes into its own having this adjustment. Okay, well, let's get the front ones in. Okay, so our rear guides just bolt up underneath. I've already put a couple of drops of oil on them. There's no adjustment on these ones. They are what they are. They do have a very slight step in them, so they are fitted. Not sure if you can pick that up. Yeah. There is a slight step in them. It's been like machined down, eaten away, hand filed by someone from the factory. So we just nip them down, make sure everything still moves nice and smooth. As it does. Okay, I thought I'd just check those front strips that we just put in and just see what sort of play we are getting in the. So we're getting 1.5 thou. So what I might do, I might pop them back off and see if we can reduce that at least by half. Because I do a lot of parting with tools upside down, so it does create a bit of lift. So I think we'll just tighten that one up just a little bit. So okay, in order to reduce that up and down play, these are our front wear strips. So that's the area there that wears on the underside of the bed, and this area clamps up underneath the carriage. So if we very carefully, probably draw file a little bit off this, probably about 1 thou, just under 1 thou on both of them. It should reduce that play up and down. You can see from factory this one's had a fair bit taken off, and this one here, you can still see the machining marks on it. So what I'm going to do is take it off this one with the machining marks still on it first. So okay, in order to bring these down in a uniform fashion, we need to establish a base thickness first. So these are coming up at 511 thou thick. Just under 511, just over 511, depends where you measure it. So if we bring them down just 510 as a bare minimum, and then we'll try it out. We'll just give it a couple of whiskers off. I'm swinging around for a better view. Okay, we've got a size on that. A little bit more off this end and a wee bit off that end. Looking pretty good, 510.5. Yeah, that's pretty good. So we'll give this one a try, then we'll do the other one. Reminds me of the apprenticeship days again. Filing with a micrometer. Our apprentice masters, when I was at the railway workshops, they used to, if you couldn't file to within a thou with a mic, measured with a mic, he'd check your filing with a mic. You had to be able to file under 1/1000th of an inch. Okay, we'll fit this up, we'll recheck our plate, then we'll file the other one. Okay, so we got the left hand underside wear strip back in, the one that we draw filed down. So we've got the indicator set back up. So we'll see what sort of a play we have this time. So we've got half a thou, just a fraction over half a thou. So that's good. So what we do now is we'll take that wear strip out and we'll fit this wear strip here in under this side, and then we'll repeat what we've just done. Doing it this way, whatever we do to this one isn't going to get influenced by that one. Okay, with the other wear strip in, the one that we haven't filed yet, we're picking up 2.5 thou. So if we take 2 thou off that, it'll bring it the same as the previous wear strip that we've done for this end. So I'll remove that one and we'll give it a file up. Okay, now we've adjusted our guides at the front, we'll see if we've got some play in it. So look at about half a thou there. So that's good. Okay, so with all those adjusted, she's still as smooth as ever. So that's a good result. So the next up we'll get the gap properly aligned and we'll get that all tightened down.